Tax day is right around the corner. Every single tax filing deadline, I ask myself this question. You should be asking it too. I'll share that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, tax day is almost here. April 18th of 2022 is the deadline this year. Typically April 15. The last couple of years, pandemic and everything, it's been different. But this is the question that I ask myself every tax day. In fact, leading up to tax day as well. I would have you ask this question as well. It can save you thousands of dollars in taxes over your life and certainly save you a lot of grief as well. And this question is one of three questions that I ask myself every time when I'm getting my taxes done every single year, and that we ask our clients on their behalf to adjust our planning, okay? But here's the question that you should ask yourself every tax day. What changes are taking place in your financial life or in your taxes that you need to adjust for with your tax planning right now? What changes are taking place in your financial life or in your tax situation that you need to adjust for right now with your taxes? That's the question. That's the question that you need to ask every tax filing deadline, or as soon as you get your taxes done, you need to ask that question. What changed? Basically, what's changing in my situation? Why? Because the sooner you can answer that question, the more of the year you have ahead of you to make proper adjustments and plan ahead so that you avoid surprises. I mean, here's the thing. Tax planning is one of the 6 areas of your financial life, but tax planning is really all about doing 2 things: avoiding surprises and capturing opportunities. Avoid surprises. No one wants a tax surprise, right? And so asking the question at tax filing deadline or after you prepare your return, what changes are taking place in my financial life or in my taxes this year that I need to account for and make adjustments for right now, will save you tons of heartache because it will help you plan ahead and avoid surprises. What are the most common changes that we see as we're asking clients this very question hypothetically and then walking them through the answers? Well, number one, it's you've got a child turning age 18. It used to be age 17, but turning age 18 and therefore losing some of these expanded child tax credits. Now imagine all you need to do is everything staying the same except your child got another year older, and wham, your tax credits are going to drop by $1,500, or because of these expanded child tax credits, drops by $2,500. You think that would make a difference? You think you'd want to know that and maybe adjust your withholdings for that? Absolutely. So number one change that we're pointing out to people switching from one year to the next is, hey, do you have a child that's all of a sudden reaching a different age and you're no longer eligible for some of these child tax credits, these expanded child tax credits that you used to get? The second, also relating to kids, is do you have a child that's graduating college? Okay. If you do, you'll lose out on the American Opportunity Tax Credit. The American Opportunity Tax Credit is a tax credit on tuition. The tax credit is equal to 100% of your tuition the first $2,000 that you spend, and 25% of tuition the next $2,000 that you spend. So $4,000 of tuition means a $2,500 tax credit. There again, as soon as your income goes above the limit where all of a sudden you're not eligible for that, or your son or daughter graduates, bam, you were getting $2,500 in tax credit, making your refund bigger or helping you not owe taxes or owe less. All of a sudden that's gone. $2,500 swing just like that because your child graduated college. That's something you're going to want to know in March or April, as opposed to find out the next year when all of a sudden you get your taxes done and you've got a large amount due. And then the third major change that we are talking to people about when we're asking this question, what's changing in your financial life or your tax situation for this year that we need to know and adjust our planning for right now. And this third one is you changed jobs. Ask any certified financial planner or honestly any CPA that does taxes, say, what's the biggest cause of tax surprise out there? Changing jobs. Now you would think, well, I used to make this, I switched jobs, and now I'm making a little bit more. Piece of cake. Yeah, but when you change payroll companies, when you switch companies, your withholdings could get, your new company, they're supposed to be doing it the same way. They might do it differently. You might think you're making the same election and make a different election. Your compensation may be a different base and then commission. That will impact withholdings. You might make a decision about, which health insurance to provide or what 401k contribution to make. That's going to influence withholdings as well. So anytime you switch jobs, that's a change that you need to account for in your tax planning, and you need to have some forecast, some projection as to how should we adjust our planning for this year. Here's an example. Another one of our advisors and I are serving some folks who, over the past year or so, they've been preparing for a work transition to a different state in a warmer climate. And we got all the way up to it in November of last year. They said, yep, we're making this move. We've communicated to the employer, and we're going to be making this change starting January 1. Fantastic. We just met with them 2 weeks ago, reviewed and delivered their 2021 tax return, but at the same time, we requested their new pay stubs for 2022. Within that, we already did an initial projection as to, okay, if you get paid like clockwork for the rest of this year, this is what your new income will be, this is what your withholdings are. Guess what we found? Switching to a new company, that new company is withholding based on the old withholding schedule, the old W-4 system, and it doesn't appear that it's going to be enough. Right now, our projection, these folks got a several $1,000 refund in 2021. Our projection is that they're going to owe $2,000 in 2022. You want to know that in March or April when you still have 8 months left of the year to adjust your withholdings, as opposed to finding out at the end of the year, or most people finding out when they file their taxes and all of a sudden there's a big surprise. There's countless other changes that can occur. You've got to work with your certified financial planner. Again, right now, asking yourself this question: what changes are happening in my financial life or in my taxes that I need to know about and adjust for my planning right now? Okay, I told you that was one of 3 questions you need to ask yourself every time you get your taxes done. And the first one is, as you're getting your taxes done, do I understand where every number came from, and I know that this return is accurate? Very, very geeky. That's really the job of your CFP and your CPA, but they need to review your return with you to say, yep, this is where this number comes from, this is where this number comes from. Make sure you got all the deductions, make sure you've accounted for everything, and nothing's missing. The second question is, once that's done, but before you file your return, is, are there any adjustments that we can make right now to improve this return before we file it? Should we fund an HSA, IRA, Roth IRA? Are there other adjustments we should be making right now before we file this return to improve the outcome of it? And then third, like I said, is that question that I've spent the last 10 minutes talking about, and that is, what changes are occurring in your financial life or in your tax situation that you need to be aware of right now to adjust your planning for? Okay? Work with your certified financial planner, ask those questions, make those adjustments. If you don't have a CFP on your team that's helping you with your tax plan, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with a K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.